600 million viewers are at your fingertips if you're a media production company or a content creator, as long as you adapt your content fully to the local language and culture via a method that I'm going to tell you about. The audience that I'm talking about is Spanish speakers. Again, 600 million viewers. This is what you can add to your viewership, to your communities, in a way that you can attract them and engage them and make more money. My name is Rody Correa. I lead Language Global Solutions. We help companies, media companies, with subtitle, captioning, and audio dubbing in a way that it resonates with Spanish speakers so that they can reach them the right way. There are two different ways in which media productions can be adapted fully and properly. They are subtitling and captioning, number one, and number two, audio dubbing. And I'll explain each one. First, subtitling and captioning. There's a slight difference between the two. Subtitling follows basically the audio as is from the original. The dialogues, the voices in off, narrations, or anything that needs specific, like narrations, for example, go in italics. And it all depends on the streaming service guidelines or the decision that you make as a media production company on how many words you want per line, how many lines you want per subtitle, and where you want them placed, the font that you use, etc. Captioning includes also audio descriptions because it's primarily directed to the deaf and hard of hearing, or to give context to people that watch it without hearing the audio. Like, for example, in noisy places, transport, like buses, trains, airplanes, or in noisy places like stadiums, or restaurants, or airports. That is one of the great benefits of subtitling versus audio dubbing. So that's the first method, number one, subtitling and captioning, so that the media productions and the content creation that you make for media is adapted fully to the local language and culture. Number two is audio dubbing. Audio dubbing can be done nowadays by cloning your own voice or using synthetic voices from libraries of the different companies that produce them, or using human talent. It all depends on the quality that you want, the amount of emotion that you want to give it. That's what makes the difference between the three. Obviously, the cloning of your own voice is very effective, while it has its challenges when it comes to the lip syncing, on how well the lip syncing comes out. And the synthetic voice is the same, whereas human talent could be perhaps a little more costly or more time consuming, but you get top-notch emotion, acting, and everything that you want to give it that quality, so that you don't undermine the quality of your productions. You take a lot of time to get them right. Nowadays, especially when let's use YouTube as an example. You take a lot of time making sure that the thumbnail is right, that the captioning in the thumbnails with the hook or the writing is attractive, the description, all of those details that you know better than me how to take into account so that you have more viewership, have to be taken into account when you adapt it into Spanish. Because sometimes maybe even your colors change or should be done differently. I don't know if you noticed, but when you watch streaming services like Netflix, sometimes they change the thumbnails, and they probably know that that attracts more people depending on the type of audience that they want to reach. So this is something that you need to take into account. Again, localization is the full adaptation of your content to the local language and culture. This includes branding style, idiomatic phrases, humor, avoiding unintended meaning, because you have to take into account that AI's systems do not fully understand culture yet. It may grow into that, but cultural understanding is not quite yet there, which leads to sometimes awkward outputs, or sometimes even offensive when used blindly. And used blindly means that you don't give it enough human revision and proofreading, and you hit submit or you post it as is from the initial draft. We are not against AI at all. We have integrated it into our workflows in a way that it has given us much more efficiency, more output, but not yet top quality, not nearly top quality. It actually needs a lot of intervention from humans to give it that humanity, the emotion, the meaning, the understanding, the context. These are all very important when it comes to reaching the audience that you want. You're talking about 600 million more viewers that are at your disposal. That's not minor. So make sure that whenever you do a process of subtitling and captioning or of audio dubbing, that it has the proper human revision and humanizing that it needs so that you don't undermine the quality of your productions. If you want our help, we'd be happy to help you with that. Otherwise, please take into account these tips and these recommendations so that you don't undermine, again, the quality of your productions and you can reach Spanish speakers the right way with consideration for the local language and the local culture. Talk to you soon. See you on the next video.